Okay, good evening. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I did a check-in, so I just thought get some things off my mind because it's been quite busy. There's been a lot happening in the world. And being here in South Africa, we're kind of in a echo chamber that doesn't report anything or much on what's happening in the Middle East. You have to go to other news sources to get your updates from Israel, because the world is definitely in a state of, I would say, anticipation for those that have got some type of knowledge of actually what's happening around the world. So I just want to give my thoughts and comments on the attack that Iran is doing on Israel, because of Israel attacking them to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon, because they've been saying it for years. I think the West is starting to realize that Iran having a nuclear weapon is not good for the world in general, because you just have to ask yourself the question, how is it that the world hasn't registered outside of the Islamic Muslim world that everyone is under threat? Because if you just look what they've been doing, targeting Israel, where they've been chanting for how many years, death to Israel and death to America. So if this is what they're doing for Israel, and they get to destroy Israel, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. And the world should be, or the Western world, the free world, should continuously be thanking Israel for the sacrifice that they give in of themselves to stop this worldwide threat. Because remember, it's rooted in an ideology that needs to get rid of the Jewish people, the state of Israel, America, and then whoever else that doesn't want to follow Islam. So those that are friendly with them, like Russia, China, Pakistan, that is staying in with them, those are the countries that would need to rethink their alliances, in my opinion. Okay, so if we just look at what's been happening in Israel now, if you look at this picture, you go to X, I would say it's all over. If you look at, this is a picture of Israel. Okay, those are all the alarms that have been set off for ballistic missiles and missiles coming in from Iran. Okay, now who in their right mind cannot see that this is an aggression on a country as a whole with its civilians, to totally take them out? Okay, the ballistic missiles have got so much explosives that it could take down buildings, structures, people, if they weren't intercepted. If Israel wasn't defending itself against this onslaught. And Israel's attacks in Iran, which is very strategic, which is military, and it's for the nuclear sites, that is an aggression. So if you look at, now this is a good resource, if you go to Israel's war database, you can actually get the stats there, and you can actually see the sites that they go in for, the sites that are from military sites, governmental sites that are making the decision, and that are the aggressors, obviously, to Israel and the Western world. So they fight in a war against military forces that can defend themselves, as opposed to, if you go to what Iran does, they go for the whole of Israel with all its population, okay, of 10 million Israelis. Majority of them are Jews, whereas in Iran is much larger landmass, much larger population of 100 million. If Israel did the same strategy as what Iran was doing, what would the casualties be? What would the outcry of the world actually be? So that's the food for thought. If people just had to sit and think and say, who are the aggressors, and who has been planning this for decades to get to a place where they can have this onslaught as well. They were hiding it behind their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, and started with October 7th. They hid behind diplomatic fronts as well, being the UN, which is an organization that still hasn't said anything of the hospital that was bombed this morning as well. And it is a obvious tactic that Iran has been planning for years. They've been able to get this far, which tells me that strategically they have been planning this, and the alliances go deep in the organizations that have been on the world stage that they hid behind. UN managed to actually keep this a lot quieter than what the international community would have realized, and what we now get to see. We now get to see exactly what was happening. Everything that was speculated before was hidden, or it was told it was maybe conspiracy theories, but now we can actually clearly see what is actually happening. So my thoughts are, we need to stay educated, we need to stay informed to know what's going to be happening in the future, because America Donald Trump is obviously they're making decisions to see how or if they are going to get involved, because on the world stage, China is obviously watching because they've got their eyes on Taiwan. So if the West or America doesn't stand by its allies, then that'll give confidence for China to do what they would like to do with Taiwan. And then Russia is also involved with Ukraine. So in my mind, I hope that the people that have got their fingers on the mass destruction firing power considers what destruction will come if they're going to start using those weapons of mass destruction. Because if we just look at what the fallout of those things would be, what world would you be living in if those things were set off? Okay, what are you conquering? What are you left with? What are you going to be ruling over if those weapons of mass destruction are used? And I'm referring to nuclear weapons. Okay, that's what I'm referring to, because the destruction that's going to be is on a level that I think these power-hungry warlords, warmongers, that they don't have a concept of what this destruction actually would be. So that's why Israel, we need a strong Israel and a Jewish people. Why is it over history that those two have always been under attack? Because they hold the morality from God that was handed down at the Mount of Sinai, where those 10 commandments is there for humankind and mankind to exist, coexist peacefully, and to not have the self-destructive ideology that's linked into power-hungry ideologies that want to overtake the world and run it. For what reason? For what reason is it there? Why is Israel and the Jewish people still fighting for their survival and for their existence? It wasn't far back where we can go to the Second World War that was one thing that was happening as well. The Jewish people were under attack. The Jewish people are now under attack again. The land is also under attack, because that is where God chose to settle his people, and also to have a place where humans experience them first. Okay, that's a talk that we can get into at a later date, but I don't want to focus on that. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on that, point you out to this website, which is warinisrael.org, which gives up-to-date statistics about Iran, the Gaza and Lebanon fronts. The sites and missiles that have been shot towards Israel. Look at this. We've got 468 ballistic missiles that have been fired into Israel. And these are the sacrifices that the Israeli people have given, fighting for the free world, to stop Iran from getting the nuclear weapons and to stop themselves from being destroyed. So do yourself a favor, just keep up to date. Keep praying for Israel, the safety of their people. And I would encourage everyone that is able to or should start making your plans to get to Israel, to go help out, to go and stand, to show your support, and give where you can. Make sure it's reputable organizations as well, and keep safe. Keep all those that you know from there motivated, and keep them in your thoughts as well. And we will see you on the next one. Remember to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.